Guys, it's your girl, Ashley Kirkwood with the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast, where we teach you how to start at the top of the speaking market instead of working your way up from the bottom. During this show, you will hear solo episodes from me, where I'll show you how I have landed and negotiated 5- and 6-figure speaking contracts and licensing deals. You'll also hear from our amazing guests who have grown enormous speaking businesses by utilizing sales and marketing principles that work. If you want to grow your speaking business, listen to this podcast, and then afterwards, head on over to ashleynicolekirkwood.shop and grab my book, Speak Your Way to Cash, How to Start at the Top of the Speaking Market instead of working your way up from the bottom. Ready to dive in? Let's go. Hey, y'all. What's up to the Speak Your Way to Cash family? It's Ashley Kirkwood back again with another podcast episode. But this time, guys, I am actually going to let you listen in to a live video that I recorded. Now, if you're listening to this live video on the podcast and you're like, I want to join your next live, I want to ask you questions, I want to be able to get feedback about my business, then you have to follow me on Instagram at the Ashley Nicole Show, and make sure you're following the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook page. All right. Make sure you're following the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook page, because that's where I go live. I also sometimes go live in the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook group, but enough about that. Even though you may have missed it live, you're about to hear it again. So listen into this live episode and let me know what you think. You can always send me an email to ashley@speakyourwaytocash.com. Let's listen in. Welcome back. We are here getting started, and we're also live in the group. I'm so thrilled to talk to you guys. Welcome back. It's been so long. So hopefully those of you that are here were also in the challenge. If this is your first session, like you missed the challenge, but you are here for this today, let me know. Say like new, if this is your first time being here today. And if you were in the challenge and you're just coming back, put OG in the chat so we can kind of see who's here and who's coming back. I'm so thrilled. And then also what we'll do, okay, OG, hey, okay. So also what we'll do as we're jumping off and getting started, because we're on Zoom and we're in the Facebook group, but if you check your emails for the Zoom link, if you're in the Facebook group and watching it there, we're doing it in the Facebook group for y'all who are on Zoom. So we're doing it because people were like, well, is there going to be a replay? So we'll keep the replay in the group up until that last Tuesday, do the same thing that we did with the challenges. So this is great. So then the second thing I want you guys to do, if you already got your ticket to the event, I want you to write, see you there in the comments so we can see who's going to the event and we can celebrate you. Welcome. Hey, Sabrina. Welcome. The career mompreneur. Yes. Okay. Hey, welcome, Shay. Oh, I'm so happy. Like, I wanted to celebrate you guys who will be at the event. This is going to be great. So then what I'll do during this, for those of you who will be at the event, I will tell you as we go through some of these things, which of these things we'll be covering during the event. That way, you know, like, okay, I need to be in that session. And I'll also try to tell you, hey, Dion's coming back. Dion, are you coming in person? This is another sister in the law. So I know I had Marquita last night. Dion is also a lawyer. Any other lawyer? Savani is an attorney. She's our preferred referral partner. So we'll be sending some business her way. There was someone else who needed. Yes. Okay, great. Jessica says, see you there. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Fun. This is going to be great. So I'll tell you guys what to look forward to from that angle as well. And then I'll pull up my little Speak Your Way to Cash roadmap so I can tell you what's going to happen before the event that you may want to pay attention to. But we're working on some other things as well for you guys. This is going to be really exciting. So let's talk about how to pitch and implement consistently, because now we got some traction. We know a little bit about pitching. If you don't, and this is your first time watching me this week, you have been missing out. But you want to catch all the replays. Watch the day 1, the day 2, and the day 3 replays. You definitely want to make sure that you do that. You want to watch the replays. And yeah, it's a bonus, but check in with your accountability partner. Make sure they're in the room. All right. Because you know we're going to have some good content for you guys. So let's talk about pitching consistently. What's one thing you've implemented since the challenge? So we're going to start off by celebrating your wins, because one of the things you're going to do to stay consistent is you're going to celebrate what you've already done. So if you sent a pitch, put pitch in the comments. If you are someone who's like, I've shifted my mindset, put mindset in the comments. Like, you want to celebrate what you've already done. And really, I want you to think about how it felt. Think about how it felt to say you're going to do something and do it. Think about how good it felt to send out that pitch. Like there's a certain emotion that's affiliated with planting seeds that you know have the potential to produce. And this is so good. I'm going to tell you guys this story. Who's heard of Michael Jordan? Anyone heard of Michael Jordan? Okay. I think y'all heard of Michael Jordan. So I have been listening religiously to Tim Grover over the past couple of days, because whenever I am in the middle of promoting an event and whenever I'm getting geared up to serve, I want to make sure my mindset is on 10. So this morning I was listening to an interview that Tim Grover did on a podcast, and he was explaining how he got Tim Grover is Michael Jordan's trainer. He trained the GOAT. Okay. So he wrote a book called Relentless. He wrote another book called Winning. I haven't read Winning, but I read Relentless. I've listened to 2 of Tim Grover's books within the past month. He's awesome. Come on, Shay. We're going to have a Tim Grover sidebar at the event. All right. He's incredible. So I'm listening to this guy, and I'd never heard him explain specifically how he got his contract with Michael Jordan. And they were interviewing him, and he said, well, I got my contract with Michael Jordan, but when he's first off, his parents wanted him to be a doctor. He didn't want to be a doctor. He wanted to train professional athletes. So he went to school for kinesiology. He got his degree in that. He learned about body movement. He got really good at that. And he took his first job working at a gym. And he said at that time, the minimum wage, once he graduated college, the minimum wage was less than $4 an hour. Less than $4 an hour. And he explained that while working at this gym, although he didn't make a lot of money, he learned skill sets that he could take with him to his next level, but he never lost sight of what he really, really desired. And so for those of you here who desire 6-figure contracts, never lose sight of what you really desire. But then the story got juicy. So they were like, Tim, how is it that you go from being in college, working a job at a gym for less than $4 an hour to training Michael Jordan? He was like, well, I did a thing. I decided I wanted to work with professional athletes, so I said I'm going to send out 14 letters to the individual athletes. And at that time, he sent a letter to several other people he wanted to work with, everyone but Michael Jordan. He sent a pitch, y'all, by mail to the people he desired to work with. Do you know that Michael Jordan himself walked by the letter that was in someone else's locker, picked it up, and told his people to reach out to Tim Grover and find out what he was about? The person he wanted to work with saw the pitch that he sent to someone else, told them to look this man up. Do you know that then? Michael's team reached out to Tim Grover, did not tell him they were working on behalf of Michael Jordan, interviewed him for 3 months straight. Now, this whole time, he's thinking, no one's hired me yet. None of the other athletes responded yet. I've never trained a professional athlete yet. But then they say, you know what? After 3 months of proving that you have the persistence to do this thing, we want you to go and meet the client. He goes to the house. This is before the gates and everything. He walks up to the door, beautiful home, but still doesn't know who lives there. Knocks on the door, rings once. Nobody comes to the door. So now he's thinking, man, I wonder if this client is even going to answer. What if this client gives up? Rings on the doorbell again. No one comes to the door. Dang, I don't know what's going on. Now he's feeling nervous. Some of you send out one pitch, you're like, nobody responded. What am I going to do? Some of you send out a second pitch, you're like, uh-oh, time 2. Nobody responded. What am I going to do? But on the 3rd time he rang the doorbell, Michael Jordan himself came to the door and said, hello, happy to meet you. This is what the man sent a pitch. So then Michael Jordan talks to him. He says, I'll give you 30 days. They worked together through the course of his entire career. The first athlete he ever professionally trained was Michael Jordan himself. Now, here's another tip, because this is directly relevant to you pitching and landing large clients, even if you don't have the experience. This man went from making less than $4 an hour to training the greatest basketball player of all times. And it started first with the mindset of determining what he wanted. Second, by sending out pitches and being persistent. Third, by proving he knew what he was supposed to do. And fourth, by not giving up, even when it didn't look like someone was coming to the door. So I had to tell you all that, because I'm like, whoa, God, I'm in the middle of teaching people how to be persistent. I hear this incredible story. Now, I listened to the man's books. I ain't never heard the story like this. So I'm getting hyped listening to the story. But for you in your life, how many people do you want to work with? Who's the person you have on your idol list that you want to see? Do they even know that you want it? Have you even pitched people that are close enough to them where the affiliation could possibly get to them? This is why pitching And persistence and mindset is critically important to your success, because every time you take an action consistently, you are telling the universe that you're coming for everything that's destined for you. You don't just think about it. You don't just feel your way to success. I know that's popular. I know y'all love a good coach that's going to tell you don't do nothing. Just feel it, put some water in one cup, take the water out, put it in another cup, turn around 3 times and woo, it's going to happen. No, you're going to pitch your way to it. You're going to be persistent. And when it looks like your blessing isn't coming to the door, you're going to knock again. When it looks like it's still not coming to the door, you're going to knock again. We have a 3-part pitch email sequence. We send email 1, 3 days later, we send email 2. 2 days later, we send email 3. Look, that 3rd time really could be the charm. Really could be the charm. So I had to share that with you all, even as we're starting, because that story highlighted why we do what we do, why we have to keep going. Could you imagine going from making less than $4 an hour with a bachelor's degree to working with not just your ideal client, but the client? That one client changed the whole trajectory of his career. But here's something else. His first time meeting Michael Jordan, he's telling him what he should do. He immediately tells Michael Jordan something that Michael Jordan hasn't heard before. So for those of you guys that are struggling with like, oh, how, wait. How could I tell this $1 billion company what to do? This dude was making $4 an hour. He wasn't an NBA legend himself, but he talked to one, he taught one, he coached one. So no, you do not need to make billions of dollars to coach $1 billion companies. And just because you haven't made 7 or 8 figures doesn't mean you can't give a word, an idea, or an insight to someone that has, that'll change everything about the trajectory of their lives. Stop holding back what you know just because you think you don't have enough to show for it. Don't hold back what you know. That's your ticket. And make sure when you get a chance to speak to the person you've been wanting to speak to, you tell them something that doesn't sound like anything else they've heard. That's what it takes to be in tune with who you are. When y'all show up, I'm going to give you something you ain't heard before. I'm going to position your mind to think a little bit differently because I know who I am. And all of you innately know who you are. There may have been things that have happened that have shielded it, but you innately know who you are. So we got to get back to that innate instinct of what you're supposed to do and then practice every single day on your craft so that you can be excellent when excellence opens the door for you to shine. So we're going to talk about the 10. So we're going to talk about some things that you can do, to stay persistent on this journey. Stay persistent on this journey. And then tomorrow, we're talking about the 10 mistakes people make on the road to 6-figure contracts. So tune in for that. That's tomorrow's workshop. So the mission and vision is very simple. We're on a mission. We are on a mission to help one. Chris, my husband, for those of you who aren't on Facebook, my husband said, this is Ashley every day, y'all. She does not just talk during lives and webinars. I'm just saying. My husband has to hear this every day. I'm like, Chris, you hear about Tim Grover? Are you a cleaner? Are you a closer? Like every day, this is me amped up. When I got Tim Grover's book, my husband was like, you don't need nothing to make you more intense. I don't know what you're listening to, but I don't know if I like it, okay? Oh my gosh. Leo, oh, thank you, Leo. Leo said Ashley speaks life into everyone every day, y'all. The team too. Yes, we can do this. So look, our mission is simple. We want to help. We are going to help 1,000 speakers land their first 7 figures in corporate speaking and consulting contracts individually. And our vision for that, the way we will see that out in the world is that we will see diversified vendor lists at corporations around the globe. We got to say around the globe because I know my speaker rated cashers that are in South Africa, that are in China, that are in all the places around the world are like, wait, don't leave us out. So yeah, we're going to diversify it around the globe. Don't even worry about it. The UK, Canada, you all are always in here deep. So that's our mission. That's our vision. And we're going to do it through our suite of products. If you are a self-starter, you're in the challenge, the Facebook group, you're a book reader, you're in the podcast listener. This is great if you're like, I don't even know if I'm supposed to be doing this, but I'm interested. Now, once you become a Speaker Ready Cash Explorer, you're like, nope. This is what I want to do. You're at the event. You are doing the course. You're like, I'm landing my first contract. And then when you elevate to a Speaker Ready Cash leader, you're like, look, I have invested significant resources in learning this information and getting around people who've made a similar investment so I can land that contract and close it. All right. So that's where we're at. So go ahead, introduce yourself. If you're a self-starter, drop self-starter in the chat. If you're an explorer, drop explorer in the chat. If you just bought your event ticket, you probably knew explorer. You're like, hey, I'm in there. And if you're a leader, say hi. Let everyone know how that is as well. So let's get into it. How do you stay consistent? How do you stay consistent? Well, first, you're going to have to figure out the factors that you're fighting against. You're going to have to figure out the factors that you're fighting against. Number one factor that you may be fighting against is your schedule. Now, here's the thing about each and every one of these factors. Believe it or not, work a full-time job or not, you are in control of each and every one of these factors. Here's the key. Whatever you think you're not in control over will be in control of you. So if you came in here today and you were like, I can't control my schedule, I got a job. I can't control my schedule, I got a baby. I can't control my schedule, I got this. I can't control. Every time you say that, then I want you to repeat to yourself, well, then my schedule, my baby, my job is in control of me. Now, I don't know about y'all. I like control. I don't like being out of control. I don't like feeling out of control. The way that I handle anxieties that come up in my life is by knowing that I'm in control. So what does that look like? I have a mantra that's this: everything happens for me. Nothing happens to me, no matter what. Everything happens for me. Nothing happens to me, no matter what. Yesterday, we sent out an email and the link for the event was broken. I don't even know how it happened because honestly, our team is excellent and stuff like that really just don't happen too often around here. So we got this email and this one of you guys, I don't remember who it was, sent me this nice email. Ashley, just want to let you know, all the links in this email are broken. I was like, oh my God. Like, yo, what's going on, Marvin? What's going on? Like, I'm like messaging the team. And then I looked at my husband and I was like, you know what? This is going to work out for our good. He was like, okay. I was like, I don't know how, but this is going to work out for our good. So because even if I'm not in control of what other people do, I'm in control of my response. So I sent out an email. Sorry, name. The links were broken. And yesterday we ran a raffle. We were running a raffle. Everyone who bought their ticket yesterday was able to get into a raffle. I'm going to pull it on Instagram to do a one-on-one 30-minute call with me. So because the link was broken, I was like, yo, we will open it up to today. So if you get your ticket by today, we will also enter you into the raffle. We're still going to enter the folks that entered yesterday as well. So no big deal. We're going to figure it out. But your schedule, your competing demands, your personal hierarchy of urgency, you're in control of these things. Your schedule, you may work a lot. You may work a lot and go to school. So the way that you control your schedule is by knowing the hours that you have obligations and figuring out during those gap hours, how do you make the most of it? I remember being in law school. Things I had to do in law school, work, spend time with my husband. Those are my obligations. I had to eat and stuff like that too. Everything else was like optional. But then I had to study for the bar while still doing all those other things, while still keeping my relationship tight. Because when I first joined law school, I had a talk with a woman and she was like, you know, Ashley, a lot of women get divorced in law school. I was like, well, first of all, ma'am, don't be dumping that on me. You know what I'm saying? But second of all, I'm like, okay, well, you know, sometimes you're like, oh, they're being so negative. So a part of me is always like, whatever information I get, even if it is a little bit negative, is there a lesson I can learn in it that can help me? So I determined from that very first day that she told me that we were going to have date nights, we were going to spend time together, and I was also going to get all A's. I was not sacrificing that. So when we would be at the movies, and Chris will tell you this, I used to carry around the first week of class, whatever class it was, I would go to the library, get out some white flashcards, and I would write by hand every single legal term I needed to know. I would take, and this would be like 200-300 flashcards. I carried those flashcards with me everywhere I went. Me and Chris went to the movies. Before the movie, flashcards. We in the car, before the car, flashcards. Felt like I needed more time with Chris, but I needed to study. What we was doing, he was doing the flashcards. Like Chris would give me the legal terms. So the way I controlled my time was realizing, man, but we do 20 minutes in the car every day. I'm on the train 45 minutes every day. How can I maximize that time? Chris doesn't wake up till this time. I'm typically up before Chris. Sometimes Chris is up before me, but I'm like up. So I wake up earlier than Christelle. And you know, babies wake up early. I don't know what it is about babies, but they got energy. And then they wake up on 10. So I'm waking up before Chris and Christelle trying to get work done now. But in law school, I woke up just before Chris because we didn't have Christelle, and I would use that time then. So you have to plan for think through when my schedule gets crazy, how am I still going to make time to pitch? When my schedule gets a little bit wild, how am I still going to make time to do what I have to do? What is going to be my 1 hour that nobody touches? Is it at 5 a.m.? Is it at 6 a.m.? Is it at 9 p.m.? Is it during your lunch break that I'm going to make time to do what I have to do? So you got to think through your schedule and how your schedule can fight against you. And remember that you control your schedule. I schedule pitch time in my calendar and don't let anyone interrupt it. That's a great point. You can block things off on your calendar. You can put it into your calendar. Do whatever it takes to make sure you're getting the most out of your career. Then your competing demands. First of all, I realized very early on that my first name is not Jesus and my last name is not Christ. It doesn't mean I'm not Christ-like, but it does mean I ain't your savior. So I got boundaries is what I'm saying. That means you're going to have boundaries if you want to achieve some goals. Every time you get a call from someone, it doesn't mean you have to answer it. Every time someone wants to email you middle of the night, doesn't mean you need to respond back. You got to have priorities. And what I did was I blocked off time to go into certain groups that I wanted to go in, to talk to people and engage on social media. But other than that, I don't need to be everywhere for everyone. So whatever your competing demands are, you have to distinguish between what do I have to do and what am I doing for others that I don't have to do. I don't know what it is, but like women particularly, at least I feel like this may be a us thing. Chris, you can let me know in the comments if it's, it may be everybody, but us particularly, we take on other people's burdens. And then you put the Black woman on top of it. We are expected to take on other people's burdens sometimes. So you have to think through, one, sometimes it's not even my competing demand. This is what other people want me to do. Chris says he's been guilty of that too. Yeah, because Chris, my husband was a minister for a while. So they take on other people's burdens. So your competing demands, figure that out. And think through, if there is a monkey wrench that comes into your plans, how will you handle it? Everyone thinks of the goal. I want to make 6 figures. I want to make 5 figures. Okay. But what's your plan for when you don't think you can? What's your plan for when you don't feel like it? Think through now, for those days that you don't feel motivated, how are you going to get into action on those days? What does that look like? Because that's going to help you to be productive when you're thinking about your competing demands. Then number 3, your personal hierarchy of urgency. Your personal hierarchy of urgency. Someone said, I'm going to listen to the podcast. And Melvina said, my girl Jalea said, their urgency is not my emergency. Yes. Your personal hierarchy of urgency. So the things that you find most urgent will always have your attention. Facebook notifications are not urgent. So that does not need to always have your attention. Every time someone mentions you or texts you or emails you is not necessarily urgent. Okay, that's not necessarily urgent. Lauren, why don't no one drop your email in the chat. Lauren, if you want them to find out about your program, you can drop your email if you like, or a link that they can check out for a self-care program. That way they can come to you because this is public. So you don't want everyone having everybody's email. But drop the link to that program. Lauren has a self-care program that she's offering you guys. All right. So your personal hierarchy of urgency. What is urgent now? This is critical. And you know what, Lauren, instead of dropping that in the chat, you could send that to Lael or someone, or if someone wants that, tell them to DM you privately on Zoom. All right. Your personal hierarchy of urgency. This is really important. Your personal hierarchy of urgency. You want to make sure that you are choosing what's urgent to your business now, what's important to you now, and prioritize, because there will always be things vying for your attention. So one, when I'm thinking of what's urgent to me now, how do I make decisions about this? My process is, does it glorify God? Does it advance my family? Does it help my career? 1, 2, 3. Those are the questions that I ask. Does it glorify God? Does it advance my family? Does it help my career? That's based on my personal values. Now, your personal values may be different. So for your personal value system, you got to come up with questions you're going to ask yourself to weed opportunities through, because some things are distractions that are dressed up and look like opportunity, and other things are opportunities and they're dressed up and it looks like work. We miss really great opportunities because the opportunity doesn't look glamorous. It looks like work. And we go to distractions because the distraction looks really pretty. So you have to start to look beyond the surface and develop your own personal hierarchy of urgency. This must be urgent to you for you to do it consistently over time, even when you don't see results yet. Because you never eat from the seed you plant today. I plant a garden in my backyard. I can't go wanting to eat from it later on this afternoon. That's just not how it works. And it's the same with what you're doing now, pitching, building your business. Because a lot of times it takes people a full year to just change their mindset. The speed at which you change your mindset has everything to do with how quickly you can shift your belief systems and how open-minded you are to shifting your belief systems. So you got to have a personal hierarchy of urgency 100%. So let's talk about forming healthy habits. So one, plan around your current habits. I talked about how when I was studying for the bar, when I was in law school, I knew I'd be in the car. I'm using that time to study. So right now you wake up every day, you probably brush your teeth. Okay, what can you listen to during that time that'll help you get into action, get into your zone of genius, get your creativity flowing? Do you have a nighttime routine? Do you have a daytime routine? Do you know every day at noon to 1 you're eating? Can you read emails during that time versus starting in the morning? Studies actually show it's not productive to read email first thing in the morning. It slows you down. It just, and for me, grabbing my phone is habit in the morning, but now I'll grab my phone and put on like a gospel Pandora station to get my mind right while I'm getting dressed versus doing the scroll. So 2, set goals based on a timeline. Set goals based on a timeline. So by April 15th, I want to have my first 15 pitches done. By May 15th, I want to have my first 2 sales calls complete. By August 15th, I want to have 100 people pitched by that time. By July 15th, like whatever the timeline is that makes sense for you. And if you have the Speak Your Way to Cash book, you can use that kind of as a guide of those things in the Act Your Way to Cash section, which is at the end of each chapter. When do you want to get those things done? Those are basically bullets to building out your speaking business. So set goals based on a timeline. Plan around activity goals. So not just plan, and you want to celebrate your activity goals too. So if your goal is to pitch 10 people and you pitch 10 people, what's going to be your reward? Because as much as we like to think we can just work, no reward, no one tells us anything, you want to reward yourself for that activity. So plan around your activity goals and figure out what the goals will be when you reach each and every milestone that you set for yourself. And you want to create urgency around your goals. Urgency around your goals. So you want to do this by when, why? Like one of the things right now, we want to move soon. So we are really, I reminded Chris the other day, I'm like, we need to have sticky notes on our desktop that's like, we're working really hard so we can move. Like we bought our first house, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. And I really thought we'd be here for a long time. The only reason I want to move, y'all, is because of the weather, to be quite frank. Like, I just don't love being cold. And especially in the pandemic, because I got used to doing my walks outside. Vitamin D is really good for you, but it's free. It's like snow outside now. I literally woke up this morning, had on some fuzzy little cute Ugg slides. I was like, okay, let's go to Starbucks. Chris looked at me and said, have you looked outside? It's snow on the ground. I was like, see, Chicago don't play fair. I can't deal with this. This ain't. Like, so whatever your urgency is, do you want to move? Do you want to spend more time with your family? Are you going to dedicate a period of working really, really hard and missing out on some of those moments? But after the 6 months, I'm doing a big family trip. So create some level of urgency around your goals so that you're able to reach what you desire and what you want. So get help staying accountable. You want to have a pitch pal or a business bestie, someone that you can pair up with. For those of you attending the event, I highly recommend you link up with a pitch pal when we open the group March 15th. That's going to be really, really helpful. And then coaching. That's literally what helps you to stay accountable as well, is getting that accountability partner and some coaching. So definitely let us help. Like, lean on the Speak Your Way to Cash event community, become an explorer, go to the Speak Your Way to Cash live event, get you a pitch pal. The experience starts March 15th. If you know this is something you want to do and you're ready to take that next step, then take it. One of the things we're going to do at the event this year, a brand new session, we have several brand new sessions, but one of them is the decision matrix session, where we're going to talk through how do you make decisions for your business? What is a practical framework for making good, quick, efficient decisions for your business? So some of the things that we covered for the event are in here now. Let me stop sharing for a minute.
It is here. The Speak Your Way to Cash book is now available for you to purchase. Go to Amazon to get your audio, Kindle, or hardcover copy of the book. And we have a paperback copy, okay? So you can get it on Audible and listen to it. And I read it myself. So if you love the podcast, you will love the audiobook. Go get it now. Speak Your Way to Cash, how to start at the top of the speaking market instead of working your way up from the bottom. A bit about the book. It's broken down into 6 parts, and it is over 260 pages of goodness, okay? Part 1 covers mindset. Part 2 covers getting yourself in the press. Part 3 covers assembling your 6-figure offer. Part 4 covers inviting people to work with you, sales. Part 5 covers delivering an outstanding speech. And Part 6 covers legalities that every speaker needs and how to build a team. I mean, literally, what did we leave out? Nothing. So go to Amazon and grab your copy today. And let me know you did it too.
So one of the things that I'll say about the Speak Your Way to Cash live event is that it's a really great place for you to find the accountability and get some of the coaching that you desire. It's also a really good place to meet other people. And I think one of the things that we undervalue when we decide if we're going to go to events or if when we decide if we're going to make an investment is there's definitely some power in information. There's for sure some power in information, but there's more power in community and connectivity. And because of that, don't undervalue the benefit of getting in a room with like-minded people that have decided to make a similar decision to you. Don't undervalue that at all, because that's a very, very, very powerful position to be in. When you're with other people who decided to make a big decision and made an investment to be there, it's typically a totally different ballgame. Because every room I've been in when people have made an investment, and if there's like an option to be in the room where people made an investment or a room where people didn't, I'm going to choose the highest investment each time. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm in business. People who invest know investors. People who invest have relationships and connections and understand investment. So when you get in these communities, you want to know as much as you can about the other people in that community, because that could be where your next relationship lies. I was in a program once. Did the program. I didn't even love everything about the program, but the other people that I met were so dope. It didn't even matter. I met someone in another program that helped me land one of our 6-figure contracts. Literally. like you don't even, the benefit of being in a room with people who invest is that you all are similarly minded, but different in your skill set. So you're similarly minded in that you're all investors, but you're different in your skill sets in that you each can help each other. Some of you could meet at Speak Your Way to Cash Live and decide that you're going to team up and pitch contracts, or you learn enough about each other that you're like, okay, great. Company wants resilience. Well, I actually have a consultant on my team that does that. And then you pitch her rate, you all share in the profits of that, and boom, you have a whole new collaboration. So you for sure, yes, the community has kept me in programs that otherwise not it. But even with that, if they can create a good community, that makes it a good program too. So for me, either way you win. So you definitely want to make sure you're in that room to meet some of these fabulous people. I didn't even talk about this picture. So this picture is our Speak Your Way to Cash Live 2021 class that won awards for landing 5-figure contracts, 6-figure contracts, developing out their frameworks, getting their press, being on television, doing their first TED Talk. All of that happened in 2021's class. So our 2022 class has just gotten started, and they're going to have some incredible results as well. And we talked about this yesterday with Dominique, like close a contract during Speak Your Way to Cash Live. This is like a 1-minute clip of her describing how on day 1, she clarified her mission, her pitches, and her purpose, and literally went back to her hotel room that night, sent out 15 pitches, landed a contract at double her rate before. So we shared that video last night. So watch the day 3 recap if you want to see that video again. But literally, this happened at the event. And every year there's someone who takes action during the event and is going to share something about what they learned. Same way with the challenge. It was people on the challenge, the career mompreneur was like, yeah, I sent out a pitch. One of my pitches got accepted. Like being inside of that energy is why it's 70 of you all watching this right now on a Friday at noon. Because of the energy of collaboration and community, you do not want that to end. Get in the event community. We open it March 15th. So you'll learn who to pitch. You'll learn what to pitch. You'll learn how to pitch them. You'll learn what's the first step after deciding who the decision maker is, what tech to use, how do you draft your sales emails. And one of the cool things is this year, we have incredible tech partners. That tool Connected that I told you all about, they're one of our larger sponsors for this event this year. And they're sending people in person to the event. Now, frankly, it's a tech company. Y'all see how our audience, we about as diverse as they come, okay? They gonna be there in the building showing us how to make the most out of their technology. Now, I'll show you all how I make the most out of their technology, but they're literally going to come because they're like, I don't know what y'all got going on in the Speak Your Way to Cash community, but y'all been using Connected and getting results. So we just gonna sponsor the event. They made a 5-figure financial commitment to sponsor the event, to be clear, because this is another thing. If you build community, you build an event, you build a platform, you want to be careful who you put in front of your people. So if we have a sponsor, it's somebody that I work with and I've used and I endorse. Obviously, what they do is on them. So if they mess up, they'll be coming back to me like, you told me that. Like, look, it works for me, okay? But they're going to actually come and show us how to get the most out of their tool. And we're doing a pre-event workshop with them. We're working right now on a branding sponsor. A lot of you all comment on the branding of Speak Your Way to Cash. We're working right now with a branding partner who's going to come in and we're going to do a branding blowout before the event. And our branding partner is going to come in and show you how you can get your graphics and your proposals to look as beautiful and dynamic as your presentation. So that's going to be really good. So let's talk about some of the specifics. Now, this is a representative list of what we had last year. I'll tell you about the foundational things that we're keeping this year. The Dreamers Den every year, Pricing Pathology every year, the Language Lab every year. And Dreamers Den is literally an experiential session where you close your eyes and we walk you through how to dream bigger than you've ever dreamed for your business. It was some people's favorite session last year. And the reason why it is because so many of us, we talked about being super women and having everyone else's burdens and hierarchy. Y'all, we got to dream too. You have to clear your mind enough to dream big for your business. You have to clear your mind enough to dream big for your business. We're adding a delivery den and we're going to do something with framework. I don't know if we're going to have you guys submit something in advance. We're going to do something so that some of you can showcase your frameworks to the room during the event, because that is how people can start to see where they can connect you and help you out. And y'all going to refer some people, okay? You are going to refer someone else a contract at the event. Let's be clear, because all of us come from corporations and most of us have zero plans to pitch the company that we came from, but we'll slide the contract your way. You know what I mean? So that is going to be a way, like we're going to find a way to facilitate that referral network so that you all are really doing business with one another and possibly helping someone else land their first contract, because we have the power to do that. We often think we need somebody to save us or come rescue us. A lot of us have contacts in our phones that could be someone else's next large contract. So we're going to figure out a way to systematically get that referral engine going for folks who are in the room. Now, the road to Speak Your Way to Cash Live, 3-day live experience. You get a workbook plus several surprise experience when you're in person VIP. You want to have your pitch pal. You want to get with someone who's coming to the event and you all develop your plan of how you're going to start putting things in motion even before the event happens. Maybe you're meeting and talking about the topics that sell, or you're talking about the prospecting masterclass, which is gangbusters. You're talking about landing corporate clients, like whatever it takes. You want to get with the pitch pal. Once that group opens, you'll see the post for you to connect with one another and get your pitch pal pre-event. So you'll have that. You'll do live bonus coaching sessions starting early. So July is our first live coaching session that we're going to do so that you're getting some live interaction as well. And then, we have some other stuff that we have planned as well. Private Facebook community, 15-minute one-on-one pre-event intention call. So you know exactly laser focus on the sessions you need to be 100% keyed into. Now, you should be keyed into everything. But like the session where your biggest concern is addressed, those calls help you to find that out. And that's with one of our Speak Your Way to Cash coaches. So you get all of that. You buy now because the community opens soon. And imagine you don't buy now. You buy later. Everybody got their pitch pal. They've been working together, talking, doing all the things. And you coming in July talking about, hey, I'm here. They're like, where you been? We didn't pitch $5,000 in this and landed this. And you want to make sure you're in that community and you keep this momentum going, particularly if you've done the challenge, because you all are already coming off a similar experience that you can work from right now and start growing together and planning how you're going to make the most out of your event experience. If you're virtual, we do virtual rights. We don't do camera in the corner. We make sure that you're engaged and involved. And the virtual chat was cracking last year. I'm not even going to lie. Like they were really talking and communicating and collaborating and doing all of that in real time. So that is a good experience as well. But I highly recommend that you come in person, get in the room. It's our 7th event. The bonuses for VIPs this year are going up. Like every week we're like, oh, we're going to do this. We're going to add this bonus. So you want to make sure that you're in the room. And because we sent out the wrong link last night at like 9 p.m. and some of you all messaged me this morning like, but I want to be in the raffle. Here's what we're going to do. You get your ticket today. We will count it as you getting your ticket last night. We'll enter you in the raffle and we'll do the raffle sometime early next week so that you are raffled in to win a 30-minute one-on-one laser session with me before the event starts. So you want to get your ticket now. Use code CHALLENGE. Use code challenge. And Marvin, you can drop, Leo, you all can drop the link to register in the chat. One of the things we did add to the event landing page. All right, cool. So the event website's up and all that. So when you go to the event website, speakyourreadycash.com/event, and you click on secure your seat, you see these options here. This is going to be, once you join using one of these options, you should immediately get a confirmation email that tells you, hey, we're going to be sending you additional details soon. You also should get access to the Speak Your Way to Cash live event portal. That portal is where on the 15th of each month, your bonus trainings drop. They drop into that portal, okay? On the 15th of each month, your bonus trainings drop into that portal. Now, if you're like, look, I need to put $99. So I recommend you do one of these options. If you can do one of these options, do one of these options. If you're like, I can't do one of these options, I need a lower payment, then you have two options. You can secure just click on that red button. You can secure your in-person seat with a $99 down payment or secure your virtual seat with a $99 down payment. Once you do that, your payments will automatically come out every single month. So that's that. Now, we answered some questions before just about the event and some questions that came up. And I think we answered a lot of those even again. But if you're a new speaker, you definitely want to make sure that you come. If you've attended before, you want to make sure that you're there. If you're new to speaking, it's still for you. If you're seasoned, we've had people with $500,000 in speaking contracts come and get incredible value for the event. VIP is where it's at. My recommendation is VIP. My professional recommendation is VIP. If you have to do virtual because you're out of the country, you can't fly in, whatever, then we have a virtual option. The biggest difference are bonus sessions. There's food, there's festivities, there's so much that we do with the in-person folks that we can't effectively duplicate for virtual. That said, the actual content we teach, the core content that we teach that I've discussed during this call, minus those that I said were VIP, will be taught to both. And we'll make sure that it's a good picture, it's professionally streamed, all of that will happen. And also like, we did a virtual dance party last year, which was kind of cool, but like the in-person dance parties are just far superior, I must say. But it is what it is. The virtual folks did hold it down on the dance party though. So if you don't want a keynote, you should still attend. We're talking about consulting contracts, training contracts, workshops, on-demand licensing, all of that. Do you need to have a book published to secure speaking engagements? You do not. You do not. So the results that came out last year, within weeks of the event, over $150,000 of contracts sold. Within months, we had up to $200,000 of contracts reported from those who attended the event and took immediate action. We even had someone land a contract during the event. How can I ensure that I get the most out of my experience? Join early, get a pitch pal, do all the bonus work. Like anything we add to that portal as a bonus, you're picking it up and you're making sure that you've done that work and you're ready to go and engage with each other. I'm telling you, sometimes people think the power is in myself, like me being the coach, and it's really in the community and the people that we train, because everyone that works with our company is excellent. There's just no other requirement over here, because it's too hard to work for me if you're going to be a slacker. It's impossible. It wouldn't work out. It wouldn't work out. Leo will tell you, Leo's a hard worker. We're very similar personality wise, and that's why it works out. So I recommend you get your ticket today because, again, you'll be entered into that challenge. Child, we done the challenge. You'll be entered to win that one-on-one call because the link was broke yesterday. So you want to do that for sure. And then tomorrow we have another session, the 10 ways that you're going to be 10 mistakes people make on their road to six-figure contracts. Yes. As long as your payments are current, you'll get access to the portal if you do the lower payments. That's a really good question, Bernadette. So you still get boxes this year. We're going to be shipping those out. We're going to try to ship them out early after we source everything and get everything in the box that we need. If you know you want to attend in person, get your ticket early because there will be a cap on those early bird ticket prices. And we're 65% of the way through sold out of those 50 tickets. So we're working with the venue. We went there yesterday to check it out. We're going to go back we'll probably go back next week to see how we can configure it. Chris going to get my husband's very handy. So he has all these tools. So he's going to get out his measuring stick to see how we can configure the tables and how many people we really can fit in here, because we're going to blow through those 50. What COVID procedures will we have last year? As you can see, they got their masks on. That's my Aunt Stephanie. She's also a lawyer. So for those of you who are lawyers, we got lawyers in my family. They'll be there helping out. So that's my Aunt Stephanie. That's a lawyer. She was checking people in. We also made sure people had masks on. Hand sanitizer is given out. You can see the little hand sanitizer right there, branded, of course. And we'll also be having COVID tests submitted just to make sure that people are safe and they know what they're doing. And as the mask laws change, we will go with whatever the CDC recommends. And this is different from other conferences for a ton of reasons. One of being just the power in the room. Like, there was someone who posted yesterday about the challenge, and they said this is the first free event they attended that they got something out of it. So they went ahead and bought a ticket to the event. So I was like, all right, bet, let's go. What's up then? Like, if this is what we do for a free challenge or a $39 upsell, like, imagine when you really invest and give us something to work with. Because one of the things about our company is when people invest in your business, what you're able to do expands for that audience. So you all are paying a premium for a premium experience. And so now we can make sure that we deliver on that experience. And that's what I'm very, very, very excited about. So the community is for you. People who are brilliant, need help packaging, want to make sure that they are leveraging their expertise. You want to help the world, but you don't want to lose your bank account in the process. Like, we aren't shy about talking about money. We aren't shy about asking for 6+ figure contracts. You all are already 7 and 8 figure businesses. Even if that hasn't materialized yet, we're going to help you to walk into that. Like, that's who it's for. If you're ready to walk into that realization, learn how to pitch, and you're not afraid of doing work. Now, if you somebody that's like, nope, I want to sit on my couch, watch Netflix, make a couple posts on Instagram and get my billions that way, this ain't it, ma'am or sir. Like, this ain't it. But if you're like, no, teach me the strategy and the system and I'll get it cracking, that's who it's really, really, really for. And if you attend virtual, we'll make sure we take care of you. We have a virtual liaison last year who kind of almost acted like a host for the virtual. Like, before we went on, he was like, oh, we got a virtual question in the chat. So-and-so says blah, blah, blah. So making sure that you all aren't getting lost. We keep a running tally of the questions, and every night at our event team meetings. Now, if you do events, this is something to keep in mind. Every night at our event team meetings, we go over what went wrong, what went right, what questions weren't answered, and is there a way to fit it into the curriculum the next day? So that's how we're rolling when you invest at the level of the event. And if you all do events or anything, you want to be thinking through client experience in that way as well. VIP is different because of the camaraderie that we have, the way that we're able to meet, some bonus gifts that you get in the bag. And what makes it the most powerful, I think, is the family foundation of our company. Like, I work with my husband. My mom is the event planner. My dad came and spoke at the event. And when you all get access in, June to the 7-figure sales panel, that panel is filled with my dad and his friends who came up pitching their way to millions. Literally, they talk about how they used to prospect back in the 90s to get their first 7-figure businesses off the ground. So it's an intergenerational, interracial, intergendered community where everyone's welcome, but the foundation is family. That's why we call it the Speak Your Way to Cash family. It impacts how we do everything in our community. And there were tears dropped. And sometimes you need an experienced mother's hug. And my mama was ready. Okay. I think my mom was ready. So whatever you need, I know that you can get it out of the community that we have. So you definitely want to make sure you go to speakyourwaytocash.com/event and use code challenge to get 15% off. So go to speakyourwaytocash.com/event and use code challenge to get 15% off. So you're just going to go right to the website, speakyourwaytocash.com/event, and get your ticket. Get it tonight. We'll put you in the raffle. I know some of you have already gone and started signing up. If you have a call with Chris, please do make sure you get on his calendar now before it goes out. So we'll drop the link again to Chris's call, but this is really good. Like, I'm excited to welcome in those who've already taken that step and made that decision. And for everyone else, if you need help making that decision, just DM us. But I'll tell you this, follow your desire. If this is something that you want, you are worth the event. You are worth the investment. Like, skip what I'm worth, skip what the event is worth. Mind you, this is our 7th one, so we ain't new. Ain't like coming to my first annual, you know what I'm saying? This is our 7th event. You don't get to 7 piecing little stuff together. Like, we've really perfected a process to serve. And that is how I see what we do that weekend. It is a ton of fun on the front end, and it's a ton of work on the back end, but it's also a lot. Not first annual. I mean, no shade, but it's really a good time. It's really a good time. We joke, we kid, we have a lot of fun, but we're excited to welcome you guys in and make sure you have a good experience.
All right, wasn't that interview amazing? If you're anything like me, you have pages full of notes. But here's the thing. Before you head out, I want you to go to facebook.com and join the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook group. That is where I am. That's where a ton of other speakers are, a ton of other people who listen to the show. We all congregate there and chat. And it's 100% free. Now, if you're ready to take your speaking career to the next level, I have 2 ways for you to do that. One, you can go to ashleynicolekirkwood.com/SYWTC live replay and pick up the live replay. That training is 7 modules, chock full of information. It's crazy. Go over there, read all about it. Or if you want a more personal experience, you already know that you want to be a speaker. You're ready to fully commit and you want someone to walk you through it and save you tons of time Googling and doing it on your own, then book a VIP day with me. You can go to ashleynicolekirkwood.com, scroll down until you see the VIP day section and get more information on that there. All right. Thank you guys again for watching. Please do not forget to leave us a review. That is how we keep this train rolling and get some of the best speakers in the world to get on this show. So please, please, please leave a review. Shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram, and Facebook in the Speak Your Way to Cash group, Instagram at the Ashley Nicole Show. And I'd be more than happy to chat with you and say hi. All right, y'all have an awesome, awesome day.